free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare
On the Hour,
studio.
your home for original reporting.
I'm Wendy Gillette. Demonstrators tried to storm the U.S. Embassy in Pakistan, killing at least 9 people. Protesters in Iraq also tried to reach the embassy in a safe zone in Baghdad. Those demonstrations as the U.S. and Israel launch a second day of airstrikes on Iran. The country's parliament speaker spoke through a translator.
I am telling Trump and Netanyahu, these two filthy criminals and their agents very openly and transparently, you have crossed the red line and you must pay the price.
The United Nations Security Council held an emergency session yesterday. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemns the strikes.
We are witnessing a grave threat to international peace and security. Military action carries the risk of igniting a chain of events that no one can control in the most volatile region of the world.
CBS News chief Washington analyst Robert Costa spoke to President Trump and asked him this.
Is there a diplomatic solution in the offing? And he said he really believes there's still a diplomatic possibility on the table to somehow push Iran and the current leadership in the wake of the Ayatollah's death to come to the table. And he said they're getting, quote, beat up very badly, so it is, quote, much easier now than it was perhaps a day ago.
The president informed some members of Congress before the strikes, including House Intelligence Committee Chair Rick Crawford, a Republican from Arkansas. He defends the president's actions.
I don't think that people realize we've been at war with Iran since 1979. So President Trump is not starting a war, he's finishing one.
Crawford also spoke about the possibility of regime change in Iran.
The conditions on the ground are ripe for organic regime change, and we pray for the Iranian people to be able to organize and engage in self-determination.
Some Democrats say the strikes were illegal because Congress was not fully informed. Illinois Senator and combat veteran Tammy Duckworth speaking here on the BBC.
I'm deeply concerned that President Trump is breaking his promises to the American people yet once again. He said he would get us out of forever wars, and yet here we go. He's putting American lives and national security at risk by these strikes on Iran. It's clear to me that this is a long-planned, deeply calculated move by him, and it completely, wholly undermines any attempt that they're trying to make that there was some sort of imminent threat. And I worry that American taxpayers, and in particular the brave men and women of our military, will be paying the price for this for a long time to come.
This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
There's another star at the zoo besides Punch the Monkey, Jelly Bean the Hippo. CBS's Jim Krasula has the details.
Her caretakers say her name is most appropriate because she looks like one. A big one at that. Jelly Bean, a pygmy hippo, is the newest sensation at the Wildlife World Zoo in Litchfield Park, Arizona. Zoo education specialist Danielle Hinderlitter.
She is Mom's little shadow, and it's adorable to see because she's just a little baby, so she's exploring everything, and everything is new to her. So she's very curious and kind of following Mom around, learning how to be a pygmy hippo.
Hinderlitter says when Jelly Bean swims, you can tell she's the happiest little hippo in the world. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
People with mobility issues and other limitations are getting the chance to go birding thanks to more accessible paths in parks. Crowdsourced maps show trails with easy-to-maneuver trails so those using wheelchairs or scooters are able to partake.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have clouds giving way to some sun today. It'll be much colder with a high of 39. Cold tonight, low down to 19, and then breaks with sunshine tomorrow with a high of 44. Rain and drizzle Tuesday, high up to 51. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Rinney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
The United States achieved a historic first at the 2026 Winter Olympics by winning gold medals in both men's and women's hockey in the same year. We're proud to point out several players with Pittsburgh connections were on both teams. Vincent Trocheck is a Mount Lebanon native who grew up playing the game here as a boy. JT Miller is from East Palestine, Ohio, and played youth hockey here when his family lived in Coriopolis. Both men played for the New York Rangers. On the U.S. women's team, goaltender Ava McNaughton is from Seven Fields and played in the Penn's Elite program. Another goalie, Gwyneth Phillips, played hockey at Shadyside Academy. Two more players, Layla Edwards and Hannah Bilka, played in the Penn's Elite program as well. It wasn't long ago U.S. players could not compete with Canadians. Few made it to professional hockey. Now the quality of youth hockey being played in the Pittsburgh area is impressive. Credit goes to Mario Lemieux and Sidney Crosby for generating interest in the sport and fostering its growth. The same men transformed the Penguins and won 5 Stanley Cups. Today, Pittsburgh can take pride in the development of 6 players who won Olympic gold.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is dead. He was killed along with a total of 40 of their leaders in Iran following airstrikes that continue to bombard that part of the world. So what does it all mean? It means that it's long overdue. Chanting and joyful demonstrations taking place in the streets of Iran as we speak. President saying this could go on for another week. He also telling CBS News yesterday that he believes the pathway now, because of the Supreme Leader and others being taken out, is a lot easier to possibly use diplomacy to end what this, is being now called a war. It had to happen. I told you yesterday, and I'll tell you again today, and as we continue our coverage throughout the week, I think this was more President Donald J. Trump, but the help that we have gotten from our top ally in that part of the world, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has helped us, what I believe, eventually to seal this deal sooner than later, removing this just horrible leader and that regime in Iran that has been persecuting its people. And the tipping point, you bet, it was when they literally murdered in cold blood 30,000 of their own citizens who were simply just trying to bring to the table a conversation that had to be had, that there are people struggling financially, and that is causing emotional issues and family issues in Iran. So what do they do? How do they respond, the government, as opposed to using some of the deep-pocketed oil money that they have in reserve, billions upon billions, to make it easier for the people who support that country? They murdered, and with those murders of 30,000 of them, they destroyed generations of families that will be no more. And I really believe even the nuclear weapon discussion, as far as starting and stopping, and how they have said you have to stop developing nuclear bombs, I think it really came down to the murder of those 30,000 innocent people just trying to take care of their families. When you think about Iran and what it has meant to the world, it's been evil, it's been ugliness, and I truly believe that money, that bad money, that monstrous money that they use from the oil supplies that they've been blessed to have, supplied Hamas. They gave Hamas the ability to invade Israel and kill 1,000 plus and kidnap so many more. They have perpetrated, I believe, more acts of terrorism than anyone could ever imagine if we could truly do the deep dive. And maybe we'll be able to get the backstory and find out what they have been behind. And I think many of you will be shocked that a lot of it has come because of the money that has been spread around the world, that blood money by Iran. What this also does, I agree with the president, it gives the Iranian people a chance to start over again, to give that country and the people an opportunity to have a productive and profitable life. Yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm glad it happened. I want to get your thoughts, and I see some people already wanting to call in, and we were up early today again, and as I fell asleep late last night watching this story and blogging from it from my home studio, it ended the way it started, with a lot of direct messages and a lot of concern from people around the world as far as what's next, scrolling social media and following CBS News throughout the evening. But I also noticed there are a lot of people that are joyful that this has happened because they believe, as I do, that it had to change. Maybe this could have been solved a different way. Maybe it didn't have to be done this way. And no one wants to see a war or anybody lose their life, especially the innocent people that are there just trying to carve out a life, women and children for sure. And we'll find out the death toll, what it could be, even on our side, the brave men and women of our military doing what they had to do. One of the other things that I will take from this is the swift ability of our military to do what they did. And they didn't even wait till the dark of night. They did it in broad daylight. And I also think this is going to show the rest of the world that we do have a military and one that can react and act swiftly. And we do have allies around the world. Even some of the Arab states were pushing back on Iran because they were caught up in the crossfire and also targeted U.S. civilians in their part of the world. They're not happy with Iran. I don't know if that bottom layer of that government, which everybody is talking about is running the country, is going to survive this. I really believe in the end they're going to jumpstart the entire country. It could even end up a democratic society. But when you look at what's happening around the world right now, from Venezuela to what's going on in Ukraine, what possibly could be going on in the Pacific Partnership that we have, that includes people like Japan, Taiwan, and Vietnam and others, and what is going through the mind of China today, watching our military strike as swiftly as it did. And you know Russia has to be concerned because I'm sure they've been buying oil for their military from Iran. People realize now that there is someone out there who is enforcing and trying to have peace through strength. And now what's happening in Cuba, could the people of Cuba eventually be free following what happened with those Americans being killed because of the boat that the Cuban government said was a terrorist boat? And yes, the cartel leader who was killed in Mexico that caused people being shot and killed as retribution by that cartel in Guadalajara. Maybe now people are starting to realize it's not going to be business as usual. We're going to get back and we're going to walk softly but carry a big stick. This should have stopped after the Ayatollah Khomeini pulled his stunt over 50 years ago with those hostages. It should have stopped then. I'm hoping that it will stop now. I hope the war and this killing machine that we are right now, in the words of the president, to free the people of Iran, will stop so everybody can once again reset the bar and get back to a normal life and a better life. And I really believe it will be a better life for the people who've been held under the thumb of that government and the tyranny that has been going on for generations. 866-391-1020 and NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows. To click away, email us at instantAccess, KDKA-radio.com. You can always listen to us at 100.1 FM, AM 1020 KDKA. On the Odyssey app, AUDACY, but you can also watch us online with our KDKA video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to KDKRadio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream, or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in the studio. Hey, don't forget, if you know someone in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year, nominate them now at KDKRadio.com to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes. We have one line available. I'd like it to be you. Very important topic to discuss. 866-391-1020. Back with your calls. Your Pratt Pack in a moment.
Not sure whether it's busted or salvageable? Call PJ Fitzpatrick to diagnose and fix your home repair problems. PJ will come to your home with a complete shop on their truck, and they can fix it all on the same day. Freezing, drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, and leaking roofs. This is the time to call the home repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. Visit them at trustpj.com. With over 45 years of experience, they'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com and stay off the ladders.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDK yesterday. Girls 2A title, Neshannock over Winchester Thurston 60-51. Boys 3A went to Aliquippa as they defeated South Allegheny 65-54. Girls 4A title, Oakland Catholic over Blackhawk 51-44. Girls 6A title went to Cannon Mac as they were winners over Norwin 50-38. And in the boys' 5A title, Chartiers Valley, a win over Thomas Jefferson, 63-37. College basketball hardwood results on 93.7 The Fan yesterday. Pitt defeated Cal 72-56. Penn's lost to the Rangers 3-2. Today, they dropped the puck against the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Pirates got a homer from O'Neill Cruz and beat Houston 5-2 yesterday. Today, they take on St. Louis. You can hear it at 1 on 93.7 The Fan. More sports at 937thefan.com.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, here we go. Your Pratt Pack as we begin. Let's go to Cynthia in Florida. And Cynthia, do you ever sleep? I have never seen anybody send me so many messages. My goodness, you must be so tired. Have you slept at all?
I slept all night.
Okay.
I didn't read any news this morning, but I haven't slept the nights before, and so I was awake when this happened. You neglected to mention that the United States overthrew their democratically elected president years ago, and this is what brought the guy, the Shah of Iran, who was a murderous thug.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Yeah, and we supported him, and this is what we do.
You're
we support the worst people in the world that we hate. This is the reason we have a problem with Iran, because they've never bowed to us. The IMF never loans them any money. They're not involved in the Rothschild banking system. And that's the same with other countries we've attacked. If they're not bending to these warrior bankers, we hate them. And so this is an Epstein war, and that's what I'm going to call it from now on. He died. You neglected to mention the 115 schoolgirls that were killed in bombing in a school. Israel does this. They do it all the time. And this is, they played it, Iran played it smart, because they took out some of these people in Dubai. This is not going to be a tourist spot anymore for decades. I've never went there. I will never go there, because they use slaves to build their infrastructure. People go there, they're, oh, it's so beautiful. They don't ever see the underbelly. But this is the Muslim countries that we support. They were involved in 9/11. And by the way, since this is the Epstein war, going through the 9/11, the Epstein documents, the documents pertaining to right before 9/11 and right after 9/11 are all missing. I don't think that's a coincidence. So, I hope no U.S. soldiers have been killed. Because they actually sabotaged the USS Gerald Ford by putting towels and T-shirts and socks in the toilets because they didn't want to be dying for Israel. And every war we've been in since 9/11 has been for Israel. Hillary Clinton said it. Other people have flat out said it. We don't owe them anything. They are not a benefit to us. I read an old book years ago called Ropes of Sand by a CIA operative. His name is Evelyn. He said we never had any enemies in the Middle East until the establishment of the State of Israel. They are not our allies. And, Khatami is dead. He didn't flee. He died with his daughter, his son-in-law, and granddaughter. Trump would be hiding. Netanyahu was hiding. This man didn't hide. So his death is not going to be the end. It's going to be the beginning of a worse and wider war. Mark my words.
All right, Cynthia, thank you for the call. I totally disagree. I still think Israel's our top ally, and this man had to go. So we'll see. I think it's going to change the complete landscape. That's my opinion. All right, Joanne, I know disagrees, but that's what it's all about. Go ahead, Joanne.
Yes, all these warmongers. Why are we still asking for money for the Vietnam Wars? Where's all these people that say everything go, everything's good? These Vietnam veterans are still fighting for their right that they fought for this country. So I don't want anybody to tell me how wonderful what's going on now is okay. Pay for the things that happened to people that, what it was about 30% of the people, men, women that went out and fought. Why are we still asking for money for these people, brave people? And the other thing, he said there will be servicemen that will lose their lives. Well, how about how many children or how many people in his family is going fighting for this war? So it's a typical American history way. You want what you want, but you don't want to sacrifice anything. God bless America. Have a good week, Rob. Bye.
All right, Joanne. Man, they're coming out fast and furious. Where are you Trump supporters at? My goodness gracious. Time to wave the flag. Time to stand up for America and the men and women of our military. Where are you? 866-391-1020. Here's Teddy up on Mount Washington. Hey, Ted.
What's going on, Rob?
How you doing, man?
Oh, man. Living that American dream.
There you go.
Hey, real quick about the MAGA base. Look, I'm not, like I say, I didn't vote for Trump, but I will say, as far as base, Charlie Kirk would be spinning his grave. So, he was the ultimate isolationist, but I applaud what Trump is doing. He just took the George W. playbook and he's using it. And one biggest thing I'm worried about, Rob, is like the late Colin Powell said, you break it, you own it.
Yeah, that concerns me too. I can't lie.
Yeah. This is not just throw a couple bombs and it's over. The president has not ruled out troops on the ground, and you're still going to need them. My biggest fear, that regime is still intact. You get rid of that regime or you crack that regime, I'm afraid the country will break out in civil war. You got Kurds, you got, Arabs, and you got Persians. That may be a good thing, may be a bad thing. I don't know. But that regime still has to go. All they're going to do is vote for another leader to take the Ayatollah's place. So, I hope that the president is prepared. I hope he gets some more guidance on what he's going to do and Israel's going to do. And the most amazing thing about this, Rob, one thing that Trump and Netanyahu have in common, both those guys got voted out of power, and guess what? They got voted back into power. Why do you think people would do that? I don't know. I think it's amazing.
Well, I can tell you one thing. They could get swallowed up by some of the Arab states around. Iran could disappear as we know it. I just think you have to go via democracy. I think the whole regime's got to go. I don't know how you do it, but we can't be Big Brother and take care of them. We can't take care of Cuba. We can't take care of Venezuela. None of it. But I can tell you right now, Vladimir Putin is going to be thinking, I promise you, first thing today and for many days, where's he going to get his oil from? I guarantee you he was getting a lot of it from Iran, and I will bank on it that they were the ones who were supplying Osama bin Laden. They're the ones that helped Hamas go into Israel. A lot of that dirty money is going to go away, and terrorists right now are thinking, where are we going to get our bankroll? I think it went to the wayside over the last 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, well, I think Cuba's going to be next.
Yep.
I just...
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember that picture of Frank Sinatra in Cuba. Long time ago, man, but you wouldn't have Vegas if it wasn't for the Bay of Pigs. I mean, Cuba's pretty much going to be the next one. That regime's been in charge way too long. Fidel Castro's dead, and it's time to move on. But I will say this, to critique the president, the only thing I didn't like, during the State of the Union, when you said that the job of a president is to protect the American people, no, the job of a president is to uphold the Constitution. He was wrong in that. And also, I remember Obama, when he announced that Osama bin Laden was dead, I wish the president, instead of having messages on his Truth social page, would be at the White House and announce the death of our enemy. I think that's more presidential. Just to critique a little bit, I just didn't like that the format he's using. I think a president needs to stand up, and people need to see him at the White House to announce the beginning of a war, the end of a war.
Well, I think the beginning is here, but I think it'll end very soon. I don't look for this thing to go on very long.
Oh, no, it's going to go a long while. I'm telling you. I think this is just the beginning. I mean, like I said, the president has not ruled out troops.
You think that'll happen, Ted?
It could, very likely, because that regime is still intact. And like I said before, if you get rid of it, what are you going to put in place? And war costs money, so he needs to prepare the people.
Well, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be taking some of that oil too. Sorry.
Oh, I agree with it.
I would.
I cut them off real quick, but I think. Well, I know the president has to. It's like late John McCain. If you're going to go to war, you have to explain how much it's going to cost in blood and treasure, what's the mission, and basically when it's going to end. That's the job of the president. You have to prepare the country. And I think this, as far as like Trump, he needs to do that. And Congress needs to be involved.
Well, they gotta reap something for this, putting the men and women of our military in harm's way, and we got a $30-some trillion debt in this country, And if we're going into Venezuela and risking our lives, or we're going into places like Iran, so be it. Take some of that oil, work down your debt, and get our country square again, and then also keep our country safe. Look, I'm telling you right now, Iran has been responsible for murdering people for decades. I mean, innocent people. They did it to 30,000 of their own. That was the tipping point right there. That gave him a red flag right in front of him to have the ability to say, I'm going in. Nobody's going to say a word. I mean, I've even heard, John Fetterman praised the guy. Not to say that I'm shocked, but Democrats don't do that. You don't even hear any of the mainstream media going after Trump after this. You don't. And I know, there's this hot, thought about he's trying to make people forget about the Epstein. Well, guess what? It's the Clintons. He's not in the eye of the storm as of yet. It was the Clintons. So I think this was just a guy who said, you know what? They just slaughtered 30,000 of their own people. We got to do something about it.
Well, look, the Biden, when Biden was in charge, he didn't want to deal with it. Flat out. Didn't want to deal with Venezuela, didn't want to deal with Iran. Look, Trump is right. Basically, he's a Reaganite, peace through strength. That's the best way you have to go. And I'm glad that he's embracing some of that. As far as his base, the mega, I think they're gone. I almost know they're gone.
Well, it doesn't matter where they're at. I just know if you're an American today, this is what you want your leader to be like. It has nothing to do with me supporting everything that he does or once again jumping on a bandwagon. I just know that 30,000 innocent people who were protesting because they can't feed their children were murdered in cold blood, shot in front of family and friends in cold blood. enough is enough. And I think if the Iran government had it to do over again, they wouldn't have did what they did, because that put them on the chopping block. And that's exactly why what's happening right now is happening. 866-391-1020.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is attorney Ed Shenderovich. Have you been injured because of someone else's fault? Want to find out what your case is worth? Visit 98twins.com for a free evaluation. At Shenderovich, and Fishman, we've got your back, not your wallet.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page, or by clicking on KDKARadio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News special report. Demonstrators tried to storm the U.S. embassies in Iraq and Pakistan. At least 9 people were killed in Karachi. Israel says it's targeting the heart of Tehran in the second day of U.S.-Israeli strikes. Iran's parliament speaker through a translator.
I am telling Trump and Netanyahu, these two filthy criminals and their agents, very openly and transparently, you have crossed the red line and you must pay the price.
The United Nations Security Council called an emergency meeting yesterday. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres criticized the airstrikes.
Military action carries the risk of igniting a chain of events that no one can control in the most volatile region of the world.
President Trump told CBS's Robert Costa a diplomatic solution is still possible.
He said they're getting, quote, beat up very badly, so it is, quote, much easier now than it was perhaps a day ago.
CBS News special report. I'm Wendy Gillette.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
We will have clouds giving way to some sunshine today. It's going to be much colder with a high of 39. Cold tonight, low down to 19. Breaks of sunshine tomorrow, high bumping up to 44. On Tuesday, we'll have some rain and drizzle with a high of 51, up to 60 on Wednesday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, splendid weekend. When we get on the other side of it, I'll be back Monday, and we'll talk to you just after Pirate Baseball on a wonderful Monday right here, KDKA.
You know, I really thought following this late into the night last night there'd be more of those Trump supporters trumpeting the president today. It's not been the case. We're like 3-1. People not happy with the president. So if you want to explain to me why, feel free. But I'm shocked that there aren't more people wrapping themselves in the American flag. Feeling kind of patriotic, but that doesn't seem to be the vibe that I'm getting from a lot of you. 866-391-1020. Hey, thank you, Pittsburgh. Your generosity, amazing. We can't thank you enough for your support during the 2026 NRG KDK Radio Warmathon presented by MediConnect. We were able to raise over $345,000 to benefit Dollar Energy Fund and support over 950 families powered by Dynegy. You can still support those in need at warmathon.com. Number to dial, we have some lines available, 866-391-1020. Here's Ken in Lower Borough. Kenny.
Rob, the reason why I wasn't early, I was working this morning. Another mega. Yeah, the megas have not left him. They will not go anywhere. The responsibility, I repeat, of government, and they're not responsible for a lot of things. A lot of Democrats depend on government for everything. One is safety. Yeah, I always say the other one is education, the other one is roads. And you know what? If you can't do those three things, then you have a problem. This guy is coming out, and he's telling every world leader that has hurt this country stop it or suffer the consequences. And I knew in his first administration when he took out, I guess it was a general that was for them, that was responsible for deaths. He took out his car. And, I mean, in that country, I figured this guy has the finger on any person in the world at any time. And if you hurt this country in some shape or form, you're gonna pay the consequences. And unfortunately, I mean, what has happened? I mean, yesterday you and I were talking. I never thought this could be over this quick. I said 2 to 3 weeks. Just keep an eye on one of the carrier groups. If he pulls one of them, it's probably going to be around that time. It looks like the people of Iran are just they're happy of what happened. The people here in this country seem to be okay with it so far. I mean, okay, we'll have a little spike in oil for a while, but it's going to come back down. Well, maybe not in Pennsylvania. I just had a snowbird. A friend of mine came back yesterday, and he said, "Hey, why is gas $2.27 in Florida?" He said, "Bring that up." He said, "What's going on?" I said, "Where's your of course, your Florida caller called in. What's the price of gas down there? $2.27. I mean, you can see what's happening here." He had some other comments to say about Pennsylvania, but I don't think I'm going to bring them up. But you know what? This is quick. It should have 47 years ago it happened. President 47. I mean, then you look at. I look at it this way, and I'm looking deep. And you listen to this president, and what does he say? Anyone that hurts Americans in this country will pay the consequences. It, just like I said, look at the deaths in this country. Who's responsible for a lot of the deaths in this country? From within, we have communists here.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't bankroll Osama bin Laden in 9/11. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Oh, they bankrolled how many different countries and terrorist organizations? I mean, it's probably here. We know that it is. I mean, at this point, if you see anything in this country at this point, there could be a terrorist group anywhere. And because we've left how many people in this country unvetted. So, I mean, our security's fine here. We'll do the best we can here. But abroad, we're taking care of business. Colombia, Cuba, all those countries that were shipping in drugs for how many years? Look at Mexico. Mexico's a war zone because we took out one of their top people. And we didn't do it, but we had intel where this guy was. Well, you think that was wrong?
Not at all. Not at all. He had to go, and more of them have to go. I think this president is going to find a way to utilize all of this, take back what is rightfully ours, restock our shelves when it comes to money, basically take down the national debt, but also have us safe for generations to come. And wouldn't it be ironic if we start tracking over the next couple of years the terrorist activity and how it maybe goes away? And wouldn't it be amazing that if all of it was really tied to the money of Iran? Iran, I believe, was filtering money out because they've got so much money because of the oil. They were filtering money out to have these terrorist acts happening, not just in this country, but around the world, so they could basically build their nuclear weapons program, and the eye of the world will be off of them because they'd be too busy putting out these fires. I think you reap what you sow, and I think the cows have finally come home, and Iran is now paying the price.
Keep an eye on Russia. Keep an eye on Russia and China. I was watching their UN people speak yesterday for a brief incident, and I'm wondering, are they getting oil from this country? Are they going to be affected?
They are. You know they are.
I do know they are, and it's a shame. And they're worried at this point in time. I mean, they woke up in the morning thinking, uh-oh, what are we going to do now? I mean, I see one of those carrier groups going back to Taiwan. It can't stay where it's at that much longer. But, yeah, this happened quicker than I anticipated. And you know what? This country has to take care of itself. They were talking, what's that word that everybody uses? World of laws or something in the UN. You know what I'm talking about. global law or something. I can't remember what it was. But you know what? This country did things right for so many years. Then it went off the deep end. And you know what? We don't. One world order is fine, but you know what? Not for us. This country was not based on that. There's too many revolutionaries here that remember how we fought to keep this country alive. And it's just, you can't do what they're trying to do here.
See, I believe our national debt, all of it has been strategically planned by people like China and Russia. I mean, they took all of our manufacturing, and then we started buying off of them because they don't have the EPA regulations. They have cheaper labor. And then you have this blood money being filtered around from people like Iran to create these terrorist cells so they could build their nuclear weapon program. And what happened, they never realized that basically by killing 30,000 of their own, that they would pay a major price for that. They never thought probably that that would ever be basically brought back to be held against them. And that is their Achilles heel. I think looking at the big picture, that's why the world stage is turned against them, because it's not the nuclear weapons, because they just expect everybody to be in the game, you know, sooner or later. But killing their own 30,000, I think that's what turned the world on them. I really do.
Oh, that was visual. I got to give you that. But I look back, and you do too. We remember the greatness Pittsburgh was. These local communities that had manufacturing everywhere. They infiltrated this country, and through, I guess, giving loans to us, we were putting, through the drugs coming in, people being put on welfare, Social Security, disability, stuff that they couldn't even work. They stole our manufacturing. They robbed us. They killed this country, and we have to bring it back.
Well, that was Osama bin Laden's idea on 9/11, to destroy our economy, our stock market, and he did. I mean, think about it. We rolled into the recession of 2007 and 8. So they know what they're doing, but the tables are going to turn now, because you not only have a strong leader in the White House, but you have someone who understands money, too. All right, good call. We're going to get Kathy at Imperial. Busy morning today, but let's check in with Mary Hours. First alert forecast, KDKA television. So a little bit of winter back today. The question is, how long is it going to last? Good morning, Mary.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's nothing too bad, which is nice. I mean, we're back to seeing high temperatures right around 40 degrees, which is near normal. It's not going to be a 60-degree day like we had yesterday, unfortunately, which was perfect. But we do have pretty quiet conditions for the start of the week, and then it's the spring-like weather that returns. So we're back into the 50s Tuesday, 60s Wednesday. Could even make it to the 70s by the end of the week and the weekend, but we have rain, a lot of rain coming.
Absolutely love it. So when can we start to think that maybe it's here to stay? How much more of winter, even though Punxsutawney Phil said one thing? What's your meteorology skills tell us, and what do we need to know? How much longer this whole wild winter? What do you think?
Well, we're definitely going to have some swings for sure. We might be done with high temperatures in the 30s, which is good. We'll still have some low temperatures, in the 20s and the 30s. But, as we gain daylight, today's the first day of meteorological spring. We're starting to see things turning upward. So I think by next month, things are looking good. By April, I think we're in the clear in terms of like big snowstorms and all of that.
So were you shocked to see the warm weather that we got after so much cold weather?
No, this is Pittsburgh. This is
that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
It's like bipolar.
Listen, have yourself a wonderful day, okay? We appreciate you.
Yes,
right.
Of course, you too. Thank you.
There she goes, Mary Hours. Following that script for sure. Good stuff. All right, listen, we're going to get a break in here. I'm going to come back. I got more people waiting in the wings. Listen, we have open talk all week. We'll be discussing this at length, but of course, Sunday morning. So next hour, it's Tech Vibe Radio, and then we've got some Cranberry Wealth, good information for you as far as financial planning. That's at 6:30, a new part of our weekend lineup. Really love what they do. And then at 7 o'clock, Uncle Doug is here, Doug Oster. He'll be at the South Hills Cool Springs Sports Complex, where I spent a lot of time over the last couple of days. That's why I'm probably a little extra sleepy today. Got home very late yesterday. Spent the entire afternoon there with Andy and the crew. Had a great time. It's a free event, free parking. Doug will be there. Larry's going to be there later today. And Andy, of course, will be there throughout the day as well. But I think you're really going to like it. 250 exhibitors there. So lots of stuff to see. And then I'm really excited because next weekend, beginning in the 9 o'clock hour, I'm going to be back at my favorite. It is the Pittsburgh Home and Garden Show at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. Absolutely love what they do. It's a tradition with us here at KDK. A lot of my colleagues will be there too. But we'll be spending time with you next Saturday as the Home and Garden Show kicks off this Friday. Hard to believe. That, to me, is a sure sign of spring. All right, we're going to talk to Kathy and Imperial. Anybody else wants to jump in here? One more segment of Open Talk, but you do have a chance to get on the air and express your thoughts about what's happening in Iran, good, bad, or indifferent. Want to hear from you. 866-391-1020. That's 866-391-1020. We're also just about 15 minutes away from that first look at news with Rob Taylor at the anchor desk at 6 a.m. at your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company, larger than light, and brought to you by Butler Transit Authority. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio, KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Quality Foods with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. WPIL Championship basketball heard on KDK yesterday. Girls 2A title, Neshannock over Winchester Thurston 60-51. Boys 3A went to Aliquippa as they defeated South Allegheny 65-54. Girls 4A title, Oakland Catholic over Blackhawk 51-44. Girls 6A title went to Cannon Mac as they were winners over Norwin 50-38. And in the boys 5A title, Chartiers Valley a win over Thomas Jefferson 63-37. College basketball hardwood results on 93.7 The Fan yesterday. Pitt defeated Cal 72-56. Penn's lost to the Rangers 3-2. Today they dropped the puck against the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Pirates got a homer from O'Neill Cruz and beat Houston 5-2 yesterday. Today they take on St. Louis. You can hear it at 1 on 93.7 The Fan. More sports at 937thefan.com.
Support St. Anthony school programs and help students with special needs achieve their full potential through inclusive education, therapy sessions, and job skills development, serving students ages 5 through 21 with Down syndrome, autism, and other intellectual disabilities. Find St. Anthony school programs within select Catholic schools in the Pittsburgh area, including a post-secondary program at Duquesne University. For over 70 years, they have empowered students of all faiths to live independently and contribute meaningfully to society. Learn more or donate at santanthonykids.org.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Larry Richard for CertaPro Painters. I've been a customer for over a decade. Why? Because the professional work CertaPro Painters does protects your home, quality paint, worry-free process, free estimates. That's why I've relied on CertaPro Painters. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Media that usually is, verbally sparring with President Trump. Many of them, in a very quiet and subtle way, have supported him. So I think the president is getting a lot of respect because of what he did. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm still reading more about it, so I don't want to comment much on the latest strike. But I do want to talk about the last caller. Was it Ken? He said something that made me want to call. He said, anything that hurts America
Trump will go after because he loves America, and I 100% agree with that. So what it's made me think of is how we're being hurt from within. People that hold political positions and have used it for personal gain only to amass wealth that's astronomical. I've talked before about Obama and his mansions that, add up to $20 million or more, and he maintains them financially. And, Nancy Pelosi and her insider trading, and Maxine Waters' $6 million mansion, and, you could just go on and on. That abuse right there, I think that fuels the narrative of the hate Trump narrative that I spoke about yesterday. A lot of us that see that he did not need to do this, he doesn't need to be the president. The only reason that he's president is because he loves America. He doesn't need money from donors. He's not in this for money at all, but they are. So let's look at that and say, if he goes after anyone, our foreign countries, whatever, that are hurting America, they have got to be shaking in their shoes because they've hurt America by using their political position simply for personal gain and not for the greater good of this country. It's the only reason they're in office. And we know it because we see what they've done, including flooding our border so they could implement communism in this country and have a ready-made population of government-dependent people, because the American people, that we don't want to be government-dependent. We want to live the American dream and live in the free world that we live in. So I think a lot of the narrative, the sitting down at the State of the Union address that I spoke about yesterday and all that, people go on board with them, with the hate Trump thing, but they're scared. I'd be scared to death if I was in there and I knew that I had been using my political position simply for personal gain, doing all kinds of side deals, and President Trump was in office, and I held a position in there knowing that I've been ripping off the American people all these years, not representing them, but just using my elected position for my own thing. So that when Ken said that, I was like, and I don't think that Trump just hasn't gone after that. And the best way to go after it is term limits, maybe looking directly into how did you get all this money when you only make this much working for the government. That we could possibly see that happen too, and they know it. So I think that makes a lot of sense to me. So I would be really worried if I was in government and Trump was the president, and I know I've been ripping off this country. So
I think he's about ready to continue to free people from the tyranny that they have been under in other parts of the world. Because I think he knows it's a global economy and we need all boots on the ground working and building a brighter future for the world together. But I think he's starting to realize one of the reasons why the global economy isn't working, because the people can't work, because they're not being allowed to work, or they're not making a livable wage and they're suffering. Like the reason that 30,000 were murdered in Iran because they were protesting that. People in Cuba, people in Venezuela. I think he's looking at the big picture and saying, why isn't this working? And I think he's looking at why it's not working, because so many millions around the world are being held under the thumb of these governments.
Yeah, and I respect that, because that's humanity. Those are, whenever look at how oppressed they are and being murdered just for something that simple, like you just said. So, and then he puts us at top priority. He sees how we're being ripped off, including the interest rates with the credit card companies and all that stuff. I think that methodically, little by little, he's going to go after anything he can that strengthens our nation. If he cares that much about another country's well-being and dignity, just think about how much he cares about ours, and how he must have plans to see to it that this country is secure in every way it can be as well, as far as things being taken advantage of with big pharma, like I said, the interest rates from credit card, all the things that people have been able to get away with to hurt us. I'm very hopeful that in these next 3 years, he'll be able to take care of some of the things right here at home as well.
What do you think pushed him over the top in Iran?
Probably just the blatant, murdering those people just because they want, a better way of life, that the coldness of that, And another thing, Rob, there's probably many other things that we just don't know about. We got a military that's on it all day long. Their whole world is a different thing. They see potential risks, dangers to us that we don't know about, because we're not supposed to. That's their thing that they do. So I think there's probably many things. But, I think that I've seen a constant pattern with him when it comes to people's humanity. Just the people that he's honored. He puts that as a top priority at the Republican National Convention, I think it was. I can't remember where it was. Maybe it wasn't that, but he brought those 13 families on who had they were killed in the debacle of pulling out of Iraq and all that stuff. Like he makes sure that people's dignity gets honored, and I think that that's a core thing with him. And that's when he sees the abuse of power with stuff like that, I think that sets him off, and he's like, well, we're going to do something about that, So that's why I think he has that core belief as a person, actually. So
good stuff, Kath. Listen, I hope you have a great week. We'll be around all week if you need to voice your opinion, but I appreciate you, okay?
Okay, sounds good. And I was in my Italian yesterday to the 110th power. I was hyped up.
Yeah. Listen, I don't know, man. I think the world needs somebody like him, because I just think we need to start worrying about people. And I think we're also getting a good handle on how fortunate we should all feel to be living in this country. Even though we have our issues, I can't imagine what it's like living in a place like Iran under a government like that for the last 50, 60 years. It's horrible to think that what has been going on in places around the world. I appreciate you, Kath. Thank you. Let me get to the news with Rob. I'll get a bit of downtime here. Got to record some stuff with Mr. Frank Dentisi for Coons Market, and then we'll get ready for Doug and, of course, the Coons Cooking Hour. Carlos McClintock is here today, Greater Pitt Tree Service. Looking forward to spending some time with him. He's back with us now throughout the rest of this spring and summer. And what else do we have today? Oh, yeah, we've got Accurate Solutions. We've got the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Joe Giordano is going to be here, former Pitt baseball coach. He'll be a regular now every week at 11 talking Pirate baseball. Ty Ballou drops by with some very charitable news you could use. And then Ray Fittipaldo here at noon. Teddy is off today, so busy day with your Pratt Pack till 1, KDKA.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert.
So since our Odyssey sports director is in Indianapolis, when Jeff joins us...
I'll only invite about 30 for the draft, maybe a few more to be in person for the draft. The people that live in Pittsburgh will be there, so it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys, show up. And the next big event is in our city.
And we're looking forward to it.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SNAP to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SNAP for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Obsessed with pizza? So are they at Slice on Broadway. The 2025 winner of World's Best Cheese Pizza Slice is right here in the Berg with 6 Pittsburgh locations, always serving delicious New York-style pizza, hoagies, and salads. Order yours news today. Visit sliceonbroadway.com. It's the weekly program that keeps you current with the latest travel trends and vacation values. Listen to AAA's Talking Travel every Saturday morning at 11 on KDKA Radio. Looking for a unique night out in Pittsburgh? Don't miss Pop Couture, Fashion, Fame, and Obsession. It's a high-energy mix of dance, music, and jaw-dropping style, making its Heinz Hall debut Monday, April 20th. Part of Pittsburgh Earth Day's Ecolution Gala. Tickets on sale now at pittsburghearthday.org/ecolution.
Details at kdkaradio.com.
Join Beth Andrews for the Net Worth Financial Hour Saturdays at 1 to get the news and information you need to make your retirement dream a reality. That's the Net Worth Financial Hour with Beth Andrews, Saturdays at 1. Net Worth Advisors, LLC is a registered investment advisor.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 31 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. One person is dead following a multi-vehicle crash on the Liberty Bridge. Crash happened around 1 o'clock this morning. 3 vehicles were involved in the crash, one of which was on fire. There were 3 people inside the vehicle that was on fire. Police were able to extinguish the fire and get an adult male and an adult woman out of the vehicle, but a third person, an adult female, another one, was pronounced dead at the scene. Cause of the crash is under investigation. Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in a major attack by Israel and the U.S. That death now confirmed by Iranian state media. 86-year-old was killed in an airstrike targeting his compound in downtown Tehran, the Iranian capital. President Trump has warned that, quote, heavy and pinpoint bombing would continue over the next days and beyond, all part of actions being taken justified as necessary to disable Iran's nuclear capabilities. Trump also has said that there could be U.S. casualties as a result of the attacks due to Iran's own counter-assaults. Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard has threatened to launch its, quote, most intense offensive operation ever, targeting Israeli and American bases. Well, the woman charged with aggravated assault following a reported stabbing in Arlington Heights has been identified. Pittsburgh police say 29-year-old Michaela Robinson of Arlington Heights is the person who stabbed a man in the 3000 block of Arlington Avenue on Friday morning. Police said Robinson told them she stabbed the man because he had hit her. Robinson was taken into custody in the Southside Flats on Friday. She posted a $5,000 bond and has been released from the Allegheny County Jail. Her preliminary hearing is scheduled for March 12th. Well, a man has been indicted by a federal grand jury on fraud, aggravated identity theft, and misuse of visas and permits charges. 44-year-old Mahmoud Al-Masri, authorities say, fraudulently entered the U.S. in 2016 by assuming another person's identity. The other person was deceased at the time that Al-Masri allegedly assumed the person's identity to get into the country. It's unclear how long Al-Masri has been residing in the Pittsburgh